So I wasn't initially planning to do a video regarding my Japan trip after just unboxing stuff, but I decided that since I have some footage and pictures, I might as well use them. However, unlike a normal vlog which like a million people have already made, I'll be covering more of the otaku side of things, from where to get good deals for CDs, to where to get your anime goods and other random stuff. Before we start, I just want to set some context. So I went to Osaka sometime near the end of July. However, Osaka, unlike Tokyo, isn't as heavily populated as you would assume, having none of the crazy bustle like Tokyo does, even though it is the second most populated city in Japan. This also means that there isn't as much stuff in the entirety of Osaka compared to just Akiba, because they are just completely different. However, there is still a lot you can experience, so that's what I'm here to tell you guys. Starting out with anime goods and cards, heading over to Nippon Bashi's Denden Town is your best bet, not to be confused for Tokyo's Nihon Bashi. They are technically written the same, but they're actually different places and they don't serve the same purpose as well. Compared to stores in Akiba, the stores here are extremely small. However, your best bet for finding things you want would be the Animate here. It's the largest any goods store here and has a wide selection of light novels, manga and Blu-rays and CDs on the first floor, goods on the second floor, a melon books with more books and dojins, including the raunchy stuff on the third floor, and a card store on the fourth floor. And on the topic of card stores, you'll find a bunch of them scattered around the area, giving you a lot of options, but the largest one should be the C Labo opposite the Animate. However, feel free to go around checking out other stores for various singles, boosters, and card goods because they might have various discounts depending on what they have too much stock of and such. So make sure to just go around and check them, compare prices if you want. After that, there's not too many other large anime goods shops around, but major names like Gamers, K-Books, and Vox shops can be found in the area as well. In terms of second-hand goods though, there's a relatively large Mandarake and a few surugayas in the area. However, the surugaya with the largest selection would be the one along the main street. Personally, I still feel Mandarake reigns supreme in terms of second-hand goods, with a bunch of vintage and rare items while also having a bunch of recent stuff that you can get your hands on for a really cheap price. I was close to getting a whole manga set but I ended up not getting it because it was too big, but you get what I mean, because there's really just a huge selection that you can get whichever store you actually go to. In the end, your options aren't really too many though, but you can still spend some time looking around for things you might like because in the second-hand stores especially, you can find a lot of hidden gems and a bunch of old stuff that you might not usually be looking to find, but you'll be able to find them there and who knows, you might just pick up something you like. Outside of Denden Town though, there are also a few other places of interest that you might want to check out. Near Osaka Station, there is a Yodobashi camera which does have a section with anime goods, as well as an anime about a 10-minute walk away, though smaller than the one in Nippon Bashi. Also, the Yodobashi camera is basically just a tech department store, so if you want to just do some other shopping as well, you can do that there. Other places of interest is also Tsutayas, which carry a lot of manga and light novels as well as CDs and just general books, but also has a lot of Tsutaya limited goods from series which are only found in Tsutaya. I found the one at Dotonbori to have the most goods, so feel free to check it out yourself, though if there are any other Tsutayas around, you can probably just pop in and check out the anime good collaboration area to see what kind of goods they have at that specific Tsutaya. Another place that might not be what you would initially expect, but you might want to consider checking more thoroughly, is actually Donki. So Donki is known for their souvenirs and cheap goods, but they also occasionally have special collaborations with anime series and have goods for sale. However, you might need to spend some time looking for them, though the selection will vary depending on which Donki you go to, as the size of the Donki and the popularity of the Donki probably affects how many goods you can find in the store, and certain stores might not carry all of the ones that you want, so make sure to just go check it out because I'm not sure whether you can check the availability online or anything. In the end, I would like to end off this section by talking about a hidden gem shop along the main road. I don't know the exact store name, but it's located beside the McDonald's and you probably won't miss it, which should be good enough for directions. It's a store that specializes in selling Japanese illustrator goods, mainly tapestries. For the price of 3,300 yen, you can get extremely beautiful tapestries as well as other Japanese illustrator goods and art books like clocks and pouches and bookmarks and such. I personally wished I could have bought more, but I ran out of space, but it's definitely a really good place to check out if you're looking for really nice tapestries or a huge fan of Japanese illustrators. However, Denden Town isn't only known for their anime goods, but also their tech shops around the area. I personally didn't go to check out any of them because I hadn't planned to, but if you wanted to get new or second-hand PC parts or peripherals, there's a good amount of shops which you can check out around the same area, and you'll definitely be able to see them because they just have a bunch of display stuff out in the open, so yeah. There's also an e-earphone which specializes in selling IEMs, which I'm kind of interested in, so I went to check it out myself. And it did have a decent selection, though of course it's very incomparable to the 7-story one, I think, in Akiba. So if you did want to check out some earphones, you can still check them out in the smaller e-earphone in Osaka. But if you definitely want the full experience and are a huge audiophile, definitely go to the one in Akiba instead. But if you do end up getting some nice music equipment, you might want to know where to find CDs to make the best use of it. The most common places to get CDs are at Tower Records, the nearest one to Nipponbashi being at Namba Parks, which is at Namba Station, and another one quite a distance away from Osaka Station, which I didn't actually go to. Or for anime, idol, and Japanese game music, you can go to Animate to find all of them. These are the few places that you find all the latest CDs, as well as possibly get some bonuses if you wanted to find them. However, there are a few shops selling second-hand CDs as well, like Mandarake, which has an amazing selection of Toho music for the Toho fans out there, but also a lot of niche old eroge and anime songs that you can just find along the second-hand section, though it would take quite some time to go and sort through and find out what you really want. Surugaya also has a decent selection, though no matter which second-hand store you go to, yeah, you're just gonna spend quite a lot of time if you don't really know how to search, and there's no real good sorting method that they use to put CDs there. So yeah, you're just gonna have to manually search through the shelves and hope you find what you want. But speaking of CDs, I want to talk about a specific store which I really enjoyed visiting, which is a second-hand CD store called Sound Park Content. It's not a very big store and doesn't sell much modern music, but it's a really cool selection of old CDs ranging from old J-pop to 1960s rock, and a bunch of other CDs as well, all of which go around for 1,000 to 2,000 yen, which initially they would cost maybe up to like 10,000 yen even for some of them. I managed to find a lot of older CDs that are in pristine condition, basically labeled as new, and even if they are used, they are pretty much in perfect condition, and they had no issue when I tried ripping them or anything. So they're really good condition, and if you're a fan of older music, definitely check it out, because even though I was just mainly searching through the J-pop section, I spent like quite a few minutes there, and there was really a lot of options for you to choose from. And they are sorted pretty well, so you can just take your time. It shouldn't take you too long, but there's really a good selection there, and I definitely recommend you go and check it out. Meanwhile, for the Gunpla fans, there's a really huge shop in Nipponbashi for Gunpla and a lot of hands-on action figurines. Although I'm not the most knowledgeable on stuff like this, there's a Joshin Super Kids Land, which is the main shop that I'm talking about, and has a bunch of Gunpla they can get and a bunch of goods for the seasoned veterans, from pliers and paint and all the other stuff that you usually use for Gunpla. I'm not really well versed in this, but if you wanted to check out Gunpla, whether you're a veteran or a new person trying to get into it, you can go in there. There are also a few floors to it selling different goods for these kind of hobbies, so you can go and check it out yourself, even though I personally didn't do that. Also, if you just so happen to be searching for raunchy stuff or stuff to use in the bedtime at night, if you know what I mean, there are also some shops that cater to that, though I won't talk specifically about it. But if you walk along the main road where the Mandarake and all the other big shops are, you'll probably see it, though it's up to you where you want to see it. Go in and check out. But just saying that they are there, and you can go and check it out if you want. However, outside of all the places that I mentioned above, there's not really much else for otaku stuff. Or is there? This is where Collabo Cafe comes in, who is not the sponsor of this video, but I really recommend to any manga fans to check out if you're heading to Japan. It's a really helpful website that gives you news of collab cafes, limited goods, pop-up shops, and exhibitions that don't usually happen in the major anime areas for some reason, but it's a really good way to really figure out about all this stuff. There's also anime news and good release dates and stuff, and it's a really good way to keep up to date with a lot of anime goods. Some of the limited collabs that I saw on Collabo Cafe and actually went to were the Gochiusa Collaboration Cafe, the Rico pop-up store, and the Oshinoko Gokuraku Yu public bath. There's also the Zutomeo pop-up store, but I found out about that on YouTube myself, so that doesn't really consider. But of course, if you want to find other stuff outside of any manga news, you have to either check out Japanese Twitter pages, the official pages, or for concerts and such, you're gonna have to check out the artists themselves. But it shouldn't be too difficult to find, and if you put in some effort, you'll definitely be able to plan out a really fun and filled schedule. But outside of all the concerts and other stuff that you won't be able to find on Collabo Cafe, the collaborations that I had found through Collabo Cafe really helped make the trip more worth it to me personally, because it really allowed me to plan out more stuff and just visit more areas that I really didn't expect to go to, like the Gokuraku Yu public bath, which was pretty far out from the city. It wasn't that far out, but the jarring difference between 4 stations from Osaka Station and the bath was quite interesting to see personally. However, in the end, comparing the collabs in Osaka to Tokyo is simply not possible. If you're going to Tokyo, you're sure to have about 10 times more options and so much more to see. So if you're going to be headed to Japan as an anime manga fan, please do check out Collabo Cafe to enhance your trip, and I'll link the website in the description below so you can check it out. In the end though, although incomparable to the main city of Tokyo, Osaka still has a lot of good options to scratch your impulsive purchase itch, though maybe save some money for some good food as well because Osaka is kinda known for their food. However, although Osaka is more suited for people looking to eat and buy stuff, for those temple hoppers, I would suggest choosing to stay in Kyoto instead. With more shrines that you would ever need to see in your life in that one city, it really can be said to be the cultural center of Japan. And although not having as many shops catering to otaku hobbies, still has an anime and tile records to get your needs fulfilled. In the end, both of them are at most an hour apart, so it's up to personal preference on where you really want to stay. Although I would really recommend you stay in Osaka if you plan on going out and buying stuff basically every day. With that said, that's the end of the video. If you found it helpful, please like the video, and if you have any other tips or hidden gem shops that you know about, put them in the comments below and help other people out planning for their trip. And until next time, bye.